Have you been trying to manage your stress and reduce your anxiety? I want to go over a 6-step process that works really well, right? The first step, identify the problem, right? We got to know what we're trying to solve. It could be personal, could be work related, or even could be something in a relationship, right? But we need to know the problem. We need to know where to start, right? Once we know what the problem is, man, we get to generate possible solutions. So I really want you to think outside the box, right? Brainstorm any idea. There's no bad idea, right? Everything that comes to mind, things that are possible, things you feel are impossible, still put them down on the list, right? Generate a huge list of possible solutions, right? After you got that, right? Maybe it's 15, 20 things, right? I want you to evaluate every solution, right? I want you to evaluate the pros and the cons of every one of those things. Consider the impact, right? That every solution will have on you, on others, in the situation as a whole, right? And once you found the right solution, right? That's step 4. You get to choose the best one. Choose the one that's most likely to be effective and feasible for you to do. Then step 5, right? You begin to implement it. Without action, nothing changes, right? So start to take action to implement these new chosen solutions. Now, this could be making a plan, setting some goals, taking even very specific actions, right? To get to the solution. After you implement, we have to evaluate, right? We just can't implement and just be like, oh, everything's better, right? We have to go over the outcome. Maybe it's in a week, every other week, to see if it was effective, if it needs to make an adjustment, if it needs to change something because we learned something that we didn't know before, right? And it's one where I wanted to have you guys see this in action. So I figured I would tell you about a client I had who was feeling overwhelmed and stressed at work, right? That was his problem. Step 1, what is with his problem? Feeling overwhelmed and stressed at work. So then we sat and we came up with possible solutions, right? Now, his possible solutions were taking a mental health day, right? To delegate some of his tasks, to prioritize his work, to exercise more, and to practice mindfulness, right? So we had our list. And then he started to evaluate them, right? He realized, yes, taking a mental health day will provide a break from work, but it didn't solve the reason the stress was there, right? It actually added more stress because once he came back, he had more stuff to do, right? So then he was like, well, maybe I can delegate the task. But then he realized that in a lot of situations, he wasn't able to delegate his work, right? So then he was like, okay, maybe I can do mindfulness, right? Some meditation. And yes, the meditation helped in the moment to reduce his stress, but it didn't solve the underlying problem, right? So that comes down to prioritizing his tasks and exercise, right? And he realized, yes, both can manage his stress, but it may take time to really show results of that. So he now had his possible solutions. Now he get to choose, right? He chose out of all those to prioritize his tasks and to exercise more often. And so then he implemented them, right? He started making a plan. Every day he would go into work, spend the first 30 minutes of his day prioritizing his entire day, all his workflow, right? He set a schedule to go to the gym to exercise. And then he made a very firm decision to stick to the plan, to let nothing get in his way of that, right? After a couple of weeks, he evaluated his outcome and he realized that in a few short weeks, man, the impact prioritizing had in exercising really reduced his stress level and really overall increased his well-being. So again, like my name is Pete. I'm the owner and founder of Worcester Holistic Health and Wellness. This is what I do to work with a lot of my clients. And if you find you need help, please reach out, DM me, put a message, comment, whatever. I'm here to help you go through these steps to help you solve whatever problem has been on your mind. Talk to you later.